Alright, so I am going to go through every single challenge for FlowFest V1 for anyone that's interested and try to narrate as I go to be able to explain how the flows and the challenges are supposed to be put together. So let's go ahead and kick it off. So the very first challenge says, find the closed won opportunity with the highest amount value, then update the account related to that opportunity with the amount of the highest opportunity under the field annual revenue. My submission variables are going to be the opportunity amount, the account name, and the opportunity name. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, I'm a fan of auto layout. I'm going to go ahead and find my opportunity. So then I'm going to get all opportunities, and I will get I just need the first record, and I need descending by amount, which will give me the opportunity with the highest amount. So once I have that, then I will go ahead and basically simply update the account where the ID for the account equals the getOp account ID, and then the revenue, annual revenue, equals the revenue or the amount of the highest op. So, oh, whoops, small mistake on my end. Because this is the filter criteria for picking the opportunity. I'm just establishing the ID, which I already have, and simply stating here is what I'm going to be submitting. So once I have that, I need to submit my number answer 1 as the opportunity amount. And then number answer 2 is null. Text answer 1 is account name. And then text answer 2 is opportunity name. So this is challenge 1 completed. I can go ahead, and once this is saved, I can run my debug, internet speed permitting. Since I'm not going to waste time, I'm going to go ahead and also open challenge number 2. So let's see, why is this taking forever to save? Alright, I will submit that. There we go, finally done. So let's go ahead and debug. I will not enable rollback mode because in our competition that means that the submission goes through. So far as this is completed, we should be good to go. Now step 2, as this is running, is I will need to find the closed won opportunity with the lowest amount value. Then I will need to create a new task associated to that opportunity where subject equals follow-up, status equals not started, activity date equals 3 days from today. So let's go ahead and get started. So this time I'm going to get myself an opportunity. Very similar to how we did it before. I'm going to get all. Then we're going to sort descending or ascending by amount. I'm going to get only the first record. That way I get my opportunity with the lowest amount. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a new task using separate resources. And then subject is going to be follow up. I will also just add in a couple more. So we will have status, we will have activity date, and then we will have also the famous what ID. So here be the getOp ID, which is the ID of the opportunity that we picked. The activity date is going to require a formula. So I'm going to go ahead and create a formula due date. So basically, simply stating is simple, today plus 3. And that should give me the result that I want. And then the status is not started. I believe I have everything else here. So now I'm going to go ahead and move into my next spot, which is number answer 1 is the opportunity amount. So getOp amount. Alright, so number answer 2 is null. So Text answer 1 is the date, so it'll be formula due date. And then text answer 2 will be the related to, so it'll be the get opportunity ID, which is going to be the what ID. So I have everything that I need. We should be good here. CN002, user alias, we are good. I'm going to go ahead and hit save on this one as well. And this saved much faster. I'm just going to go ahead and run the debug. So challenge 2 is now out of the way. Now I'm going to come back to challenge 1 for a second. Descending amount, perfect, which means I got the right opportunity. So we're going to go to challenge number 3. Starting challenge number 3. Find an account where billing state equals New York and capture all of the contacts for that account. Update the number of employees on the account record with the total count of contacts found on that account. Also, capture the number of contacts under that account where their title contains SVP. So this is a little bit more fun. So let's go ahead and kick it off. So we're first going to get the opportunity, find the account, sorry. Whoops. So I'm going to get the account. Let's call it get New York account. This time I'm going to be, whoops, typing too fast. And, alright, so billing state equals New York. And in this data set, we know that there's only one, so I will go ahead and just find the first record and we should be fine. And then the next step then is that we want to get all of the contacts for that account. So get contacts, and then we're going to pull contacts. And then now we want the account ID equals get New York account ID. So this time I want to make sure I select all records. So now I'm going to go ahead and loop these. So loop contacts, because what we're going to do is that we're going to start a sequence of assignments. So essentially I'm going to have to create a variable record for the contact roles that I'm going to be, or actually, whoops, I am mixing this up. Update the number of employees. So essentially, all right, so we have that. So, okay, so fairly straightforward. So first equals assign count. Some people could go into a loop. This is going to be a tricky one for those that don't know about this, but I'm just going to go ahead and create a new variable, which is count employees. And this is going to be a simple number variable, not a lot of secret to it. 0 and 0. So the count employees has equals count. Not a lot of people know this, which is the contacts from get contacts. So then what I'm also going to do right before it is that I'm actually going to add this Spring 22 feature, which is filter for SVP. And I'm also going to filter these. And I want my contacts where the title contains SVP. So at this point, I'm going to have the count employees, and then I'm going to do another variable, which is the count SVP. So effectively, it's going to be another number, 0, 0. And then this is going to equals count the contacts from filter for SVP. So the equals count is just going to give me the count of records that are still in there. So now the final piece is that I need to update the account. So effectively, just account where the ID equals the get New York ID. And then the field that we're going to do is number of employees, and that's going to be the original count of employees per the instructions. So I'm basically looking at it here. So find an account where the billing state equals New York, capture all the contacts for that account, update the number of employees on that account record with the total count of contacts found on that account. Also capture the number of contacts under that account where their title contains SVP. We got that. So now we're going to go to our submission. So confirm CN003, CN003. Number variable, so it's going to be count of all contacts. So the first one is count employees. The second one is count of SVP contacts. So here's your count SVP. Then your text answer 1 is going to be the account name. And text answer 2 is null. So we have everything that we need. Let's go ahead and save. Run a debug. And then I can even take a look just to see what my answers are. So I found 4 employees. I have 2 SVP contacts. My participant number went through, and the name of the account is United Oil and Gas Corp. So challenge 3, also out of the way. Moving to challenge 4. So on challenge 4, I need to find the closed won opportunity with the highest amount value. Based on that opportunity, find all contacts that are associated with the account and create them as opportunity contact roles for that same opportunity. Role for all contact roles should be business user. So let's rock and roll. So get op, all right, and then opportunity. We want the opportunity with the, we get all, well, none filters because we're only going to get the first record, but we want descending by amount. So it'll give us the highest value opportunity. So we have that, and then we're going to get all the contacts. We're going to get all the contacts for the account of that opportunity. So we're just going to put account ID for the contact is the same as the get op account ID. This is going to grab all of them. So we want to make sure we grab all of them. And what we're going to need to do is that we're going to need to start a loop. So we're going to loop through the contacts. And then we're going to go first item to last item. And then we're going to go ahead and start 2 assignment elements. So one to assign the values. And we'll create a quick variable here. So this will be a var contact, and this will be a record variable, most importantly, because that's what's going to house the opportunity contact role. So let's just name it correctly. So now we just start assigning the values. The important pieces is getting the opportunity and getting the contact ID. And then the final one, because we stipulated, is the role. So the role is going to be business user for everyone. And then here, we're going to take the contact ID that's currently in the loop. We're looping all of those contacts that we found one by one. So the ID for that contact in the loop is the one that we're interested in. And the opportunity ID will be a constant because it will be the same opportunity ID for everyone. Now, if you have little experience with loops, what you need to do is that you need 2 assignment elements because the first assignment elements, the values that we just assigned, don't get committed until the node completely finishes. What we need to do is that we need to create a new assignment separate where we have the collection for the contact roles, and then essentially here we can add multiple values. And what we're going to do now is that every single loop, every time we loop, the last step that we do is that we add that variable from the step prior into this collection, which is the bucket that we're then going to go ahead and use to create. We want to create multiple records, and we have our collection contact roles. So we can go ahead and have that here. So looking through what I need, then what I need to submit, answer 1 is going to be the amount. So get op amount. The number answer 2 is the total number of contacts. So here, I got to go back for 1 second. You could do an equals count like you did last time, but because I'm already in a loop and it's not going to make any difference, I'm just going to be doing it a different way just for display purposes, where you can, in this case, just do, save yourself an extra element and just basically create this count where the default value is 0, and then for every time you loop, you add the value of 1. So now I have the count, and I can go ahead for my number answer 2 and have my count of contacts. Then the text answer 1 is the account name, and text answer 2 is the opportunity name. So get op account name, and then get op name. So here I got everything good, everything done. So I am done with challenge 4. So I'm going to go ahead and run the debug. So I see everything went through, the challenge is completed, and I just want to check my answers. I know the opportunity amount is correct, is what I'm expecting, and then the count of the contacts are correct. And then both the account name and the opportunity name match, so I am feeling pretty good about this. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the final one. This is it's a more complex level challenge. So it basically states salesforce merged with GenePoint and rebranded as GeneForce. Clone the salesforce account with the name GeneForce and use the following values from salesforce in the new account: phone, fax, and website. Then reparent all the related records, contacts, and opportunities from GenePoint and salesforce under the new GeneForce account. So let's kick this off. And this is going to have a tricky bit too. So first off, let's get salesforce. So we're going to go with account, and we're going to have to go by name here, which not the best practice in the world, but for the sake of the competition, we should be okay. We only need the first record. And then from everything that we need, we can go ahead and just immediately create the new account, because we will need the account ID very, very shortly. So create GeneForce. So effectively, let's go ahead and use separate values. So it's going to be an account. So we will have name equals GeneForce. Then the 3 other fields that we need are website, phone, and fax. And then we'll get salesforce website, then get salesforce phone, and then we'll get salesforce fax. So now we basically created our GeneForce right here. The next step that we want to do is that we also need to get, we need to start getting all of the contacts and all of the opportunities. So first things first is that we actually need to get GenePoint as well. To make sure I get the spelling right. It is GenePoint, yes. So account. And then name equals GenePoint. So only the first record, perfect. And then now what we can do is that we basically go and get all contacts and then where we're going to do that the account ID equals get salesforce ID, or account equals get GenePoint ID. Now you could go do 2 different gets, but we can do this with an OR function and we get literally everyone that we need almost immediately. And then equally, I can get all of my opportunities. Same concept applies. So I'm just going to switch this to OR, and then account ID equals get GenePoint ID, and then OR account equals get salesforce ID. So then I want to get all the records one more time. And what we can do here is that this would be fairly straightforward. However, one of the things in submission variables, if you look at it, is that I'm looking for the average of all one opportunity amounts under GeneForce. Now you could very easily, and you can do it for contacts, where you can just easily go and update contacts, where you can just specify the conditions, and then where is it? Get contacts. we need the count of contacts under GeneForce. We'll need a couple of things. So actually, let's go ahead and just loop. So loop contacts. So there is a faster way of doing this too, but I'm going to do it in the way that I know how. But Pete Lyons has found a way to beat this. So var contact count ID equals the new count ID from create GeneForce, and then var contact ID equals loop contact ID. So we have that, and then we add them to a collection. Add to collection, and then equally it's a collection that I'm going to have to create. Record contact. So allow multiple values, done. Then we add var contact, and then here, just because I need to get the counts, I'm going to do it easier for me. It's just going to be a simple number. We've done this in previous exercises. Add 1. Again, you could do an equals count, but since I'm already in a loop, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then I can just go ahead and update contacts here. And because I already have the collection contact update, so we're good there. So now the final piece is that I'm going to loop, and this is the one that gets a little more tricky. So loop opportunities. Now this is the one that is going to be fun to see how others do. Now you could put a decision element because you need to calculate the average of all one opportunity amounts under GeneForce. So you could do decision elements here, but so now what we're going to do is going to do var op. So record opportunity. So effectively now we're going to go ahead, var op ID equals loop opportunity ID. So the opportunity that's in the loop is what's going to go into the variable. And now we're going to put the account ID, which is the account ID from GeneForce. So it's effectively setting up all of those values. And then we're going to add to the collection another assignment, add to op collection. And then here we create that collection. And I could put, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do op update just because I'm super picky on my names. But, alright, so allow multiple values, okay, so opportunity. So then we add our var op, and then we would be good to go. But now, most importantly, we need to start two separate variables. So this would be sum1 amount. And then this would be a currency field, two values, default value is 0, okay. And then we're going to add, and instead you could do on the decision element, but that's just going to slow you down, and this is a competition, so we're just going to be formula 1 amount, and we're just going to write a formula right on the fly that is going to be the currency. So we say if the item that we're looping, the opportunity that we're looping is 1, equals true, then we get the loop amount, and essentially this is, otherwise we put 0. So I'm going to go ahead and click done, and then here equally I'm going to do another variable which would be count1ops, and then this will be a number, and this time it's 0 and 0, and then we're going to add. And then there's going to be another formula, and this is going to be a number, and if 1 equals true, 1, 0. So because we're going to add up all of those, and then what we're going to do now at the end is that we're going to update our opportunities. Collection map update. And then when we're going to go to submit, what we're going to do is that number answer 1 is going to be the average of all 1 opportunities. So now we're going to have a final formula here. Formula average 1 ops. And I want to do this as a currency. And this is going to be sum 1 amount divided by count 1 ops, and that will give me the number that I'm looking for. And then on the number 2, we're going to have count of contacts, which we've already done, and then we're going to get the Geneforce website. So we took it from salesforce, so that'll be the website on salesforce, and then we get the fax number from salesforce. So just a final read before we're good while we're saving. salesforce merged with GenePoint, rebranded as Geneforce. Clone the salesforce account with the name Geneforce and use the following values in the salesforce in the new account: phone, fax, and website. We got that. Then we reparented all the related records. We did the contacts and the opportunities from GenePoint and salesforce under the new Geneforce account. Okay, we got that. We got the average 1. We got the count of contacts. I can go ahead and debug this and run. Just a final look, just to confirm, we had 3 contacts that got merged together. The average Formula 1 ops is 57,500, and then we had all of our values here accordingly. So we have completed all of the challenges. We have done this in just under 30 minutes. The competition will run for 50. Now granted, I had already done these exercises before, so I had a slight advantage. But if you're looking to understand how the challenges for FlowFest V1 were put together, you can see it here. For those that are spectators and looking to jump in and do it along with the participants or try it at their own luck, hope you guys enjoy this. Hope you guys understand why this is put together. You guys got to see some best practices. There are some things that I have not covered simply because of time, and also there are other approaches to it. Pete Lyons, for example, on this very challenge, was able to do something that saved even more time, and I think we could probably shave another 30 seconds to a minute, which he did something that I don't have a ton of practice with, but it's kind of neat, where instead of doing a loop, he could have spared the entire loop for the contacts and just done a mass update on the contacts. Probably something simple, but out of intuition and trying to do things quickly, I did it this way. But once again, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful to you to understand some of the best practices and help level up your flow game, as flows are becoming ever more important in the world of Salesforce. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed FlowFest V1, and we are looking forward to seeing you at the next one.